Hello, welcome to the Diana Chivoka podcast, all about mental health. Today, we are here to talk about your willpower and your mental health. I'm Diana Chivoka, your host. I share simple tools you can apply to your life right now based on quality research and my own personal experience. Each week, I look at how to improve one specific aspect of your mental health and your mental well-being. In this episode today, I'll be talking about what willpower is, why willpower can be such a struggle, and how to successfully improve your willpower and your mental health. I'm your host, Diana Chivoka, and welcome to All About Mental Health. So let's talk about willpower. In this episode, I'll be talking about how does building a greater mental well-being and a greater willpower and learning and how to resist temptation help you with your self-improvement and your self-esteem. That's what I'm talking about today, this week, on All About Mental Health. So let me ask you, have you ever wondered what willpower really means? Well, you are not alone. It's like that superpower we all wish we had, right? To kick things off, let's define what willpower means. What is willpower? Willpower, my friend, is the ability to control your impulse and to resist temptation. It is the force that helps you make better choices and overcome the allure of instant gratification. So, as one famous speaker once said, that was Napoleon Hill, he once said that strength and growth come only through continuous effort and struggle. So that's the essence of willpower, according to Napoleon Hill, one of the greatest thinkers. So I think, like I said before, this is a topic, willpower, that I also struggle with. I struggle with it a lot, especially when I come to my emotional eating. You all know, those of you that know me, I'm usually very open about talk about these areas in these conversations, especially here in All About Mental Health. Those of you that know, you know that I'll open up about my struggles in those conversations. And I recognize that maybe I'm not an expert in everything about everything. But however, most of the topics I usually cover are things that I'm usually fairly confident about in terms of how much a handle I have on them. Even if I can always use more self-improvement. But this is one today that I'll say that I'm quite scared in a lot of many ways. So because it's a topic I'm actively working on with myself, and I'm far away from feeling like I have a solid grip on how to do it effectively. So the advice I give here today is actually based on the research I have been doing on myself to try to better handle things in my own life. And a lot of it is stuff that I only just been recently dealing with. So I'm telling you all this because it's basically, the reason I tell you is to clear the air that I do not have all the answers. And I'm very much out of my comfort zone here as I look for options at the same time as many of you. And this is also an opportunity for me to really challenge myself on how well I'm dealing with my own struggles. So don't you think I have all the answers? But without wasting time anymore, why should you care about building greater willpower, if I may ask you? So, well, let's talk about self-improvement. When you talk about willpower, you think about self-improvement. And when you enhance your willpower, you unlock a whole new level of personal growth. So it's like having a personal trainer for your mind. Having a good willpower, mental willpower, looks like having like a personal trainer for your own brain, for your own mind. So can you imagine you set a goal to exercise regularly every single day, but those cozy blankets and Netflix series is calling your name, and they want you lay down and feel cozy and remain in bed. With willpower, you can resist the urge to stay in the bed, and you will hit the gym instead. So this small victory sets the stage for more significant achievements in your self-improvement journey. So here's an example. The example is choosing to exercise over laying down in bed and watching Netflix. And let's get real. It's not always easy. Temptations are everywhere. Remember what the renowned speaker once said, Zig Ziglar. He once said, your attitude, not your aptitude, will determine your altitude. He's right. In other words, it's not about how skilled you are. It's about your mindset and your willpower. So how can you improve your willpower and stop suffering in the internal battles and stop struggling with your personal internal battles? Well, my friends, here are some of the tricks. Here are the tricks I have for you to help you with building your personal willpower. First, you must set clear goals. When you have a specific target in mind, it's easier to stay on track. So Tony Robbins once said, setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. So if you're going to stay on your goals, you must set realistic goals if you want to stay on track. So it's like building a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. One known speaker, Jim Rohn, once said, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Number 3, you must eliminate all the distractions. In the words of Robin Sharma, she said, your smartphone has the potential to rob your time, your creativity, and your energy if you don't create rules around it. And finally, you must reward yourself as we move on the journey towards your good willpower. Don't forget to celebrate the small successes along the way. Remember what Dale said, happiness does not depend on external conditions. It's governed by our mental aptitude, our mental attitude. All right, folks? We've covered the basics of willpower and how it can supercharge your self-improvement journey. So the next time you're faced with a temptation to channel your inner superhero and you must say no to temptation. You must resist temptation. The key thing here to remember about having a good willpower is your mental power. Good mental health. How does all this link with good mental health and your well-being? Some people ask, well, having willpower can help us make choices that align with our long-term goals and values, which can lead to a sense of accomplishment and a greater sense of life satisfaction. When you make good decisions, whether that's in terms of things like your diet, your exercise, your stress management practices, it can play a very significant role in maintaining your mental health. So, on the other side, if you constantly beating yourself up for lacking willpower, it can cause a negative effect on your self-esteem and your mental health and your mental well-being. So to wrap things up for this episode on All About Mental Health, I hope you have enjoyed our exploration of willpower. Remember, willpower is a skill you can develop, and it's a game changer on your path to self-improvement. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you found this episode helpful, share it with a friend and a family member. Together we can all level up our willpower and live the best lives. Until next time, you must stay mentally fit and keep smiling. Keep a positive attitude. Don't forget to subscribe and like our channel and follow us on social media so you don't mess up on anything. Until then, have a nice night. I'm your host, Diana Chivuka, and thank you so much for listening to me.